And once you realize what led due to a brain development and human development, and then you see the community is in, that's why I got involved, and we applied for a grant, which was health and wellness.
Welcome to Six Pillars in Action, a podcast that takes you inside the work, the people, and the purpose behind one of the most meaningful investments in African American communities right here in Indianapolis. In each episode, we sit down with leaders, partners, and change makers connected to the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative to talk about what's happening, why it matters, and how real transformation is taking shape across our city. Whether you're a community member, an organization doing the work, or someone who simply wants to understand how change happens, this conversation is for you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Six Pillars in Action podcast. I am your host, Samantha Douglas, and here we take an in-depth look at the incredible work of the IAAQLI, or the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative. I am here today with Robert Shigag of the Indianapolis Recorder, and so we'll get to hear more about, of course, you guys' incredible work. But first, we want to know just a little bit about you. So tell us, introduce yourself, tell us about you and how you got into this work.
Thanks for having me. Robert Shigag, President and CEO of the Recorder Media Group. I was born and raised in Mississippi. After a 24-year military career, United States Navy, retired. I moved here 10 years ago. Been entrenched in the community service work. 8 years ago, in July, coming up July, I would have been the president and CEO of the Recorder Media Group. So,
wow, that's incredible. So how did you get to the Indianapolis Recorder?
I've always had a passion. I'm not a journalism per se. My background is business and finance. But I always had a passion in history. I love history. I love reading. I love reading about African American stories. I love reading about just things about helping the community. So when I first came here, I was involved with another job called PACE, Public Advocate and Community Reentry. So while at PACE, I was also doing some part-time work at the Recorder, because I'm also a systems person. The military teaches you about putting systems in place to achieve certain goals. Yeah. So by just getting involved, being entrenched. I've always been a person where I see a need, I jump in. So the Recorder fits my background so much of growing up in the community, doing things. I was raised on a farm in the community, just doing things for the community, and I just love it when I had the opportunity to come in to be the president and CEO.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think telling our stories are so important, especially when they're coming from us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, telling our own story.
Oh, yeah. If we don't tell our own stories, who will?
Right.
Or for years and years, people tell our story. They don't tell our story. That's true stories. That
right.
Truly represents us as a community.
Right. Yeah. So tell us about the Indianapolis Recorder and what you all do there.
The Indianapolis Recorder, we celebrated a 130 year. So imagine we started at as a 2-page church bulletin in 1985. So imagine now we turn 30 years old. So for years, as you said earlier, we've been telling stories of the minority and African American community when no one else was telling those stories. Yeah. So just picture 130 years ago what was going on in society. And why the owners, the founders, then even started the newspaper. It was to keep our community informed of what's going on in our community also.
Yeah, and so you said you came in 8 years ago, so you came in at an interesting time too, where we're getting rid of printed media. Yes. And stuff. So you guys have had to navigate that too, I'm sure.
Oh yes, you're right. We know that the newspaper has declined over the year. So I came in and my job was to how to stabilize, have more than one, also bring in more than one source of income. How do we build 2 websites to drive traffic? How do we do social media marketing? How do we do digital media marketing? How do we do a email blast? So small things like that also help tells our story. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously we know you're here because you guys are a grantee of the IAQLI grant. So what did you guys get the funds for?
I'm gonna tell you a story first. When I first took my job 7 years ago, I got involved in the community. It was a advocate named Gary Holland, who was a big advocate speaking about lead poisoning, lead. So about 5 years ago, I really started digging into the data, the numbers, and certain things. Where the recorder sits at, which is 46218, is one of the worst zip codes in the state of Indiana, dealing with lead and lead poisoning in water. So about 3 years ago, we got a grant from the Urban League, a health and wellness grant, where we also partnered with the Edmar Community Center, also partnered with the Marion County Health Department to better bring awareness to 46218 area, 46205, and 46202, which is the same areas that's the worst in the whole state, dealing with lead. And once you realize what lead do to a brain development and human development, and then you see the community is in, that's why I got involved, and we applied for a grant, which was health and wellness, but it was focused on lead, but also it expanded to mothers now who in that area who are expecting babies who are born with lead deficiencies because of lead.
Oh wow! So through that work, you guys are bringing attention to this. Was there also like initiatives to like for abatement and things like that?
Yes. Because of that we got the Citizen Energy involved, AES involved, but also so we brought awareness. Now we've helped I think 500 people get enrolled, get lead testing at the Marion County Health Department, even community health network. So it's all about telling the community what's going on. You know what I mean? So one part of it is telling the stories, because many people still don't know that many years ago it was a factory in that area that contaminated a lot of soil. You mean when you contaminate things of ground, it leaks into our water system. Yeah. And so yes.
Yeah. So with that, because I'm assuming you guys obviously probably had a lot of partnerships in doing this work as well. Can you talk about like how that was able to come about as well?
Yes. Even since then, since 5 years ago, we've partnered with, even now, Purdue University. We partnered with, as I said, the Eddie Martin Christian Center. We partnered with the NAACP. They're great partners of ours. You know what I mean? On this grant, we partner with the EPA. So it's who's environmental, and it's all the Marion County Health Department, and it's all about bringing awareness, getting people the right resources and right needs, and even meeting them where they're at and doing things.
I know there was an initiative by LISC several years ago too, where they were doing some lead abatement, and I actually think it was in Martindale, Brightwood area. Yes. Yeah. So I remember too with that specifically, they had a goal of reaching more contractors of color who could do the abatements, and they didn't have enough at the time, and so they were doing the work of also trying to get people like upskilled so that they could do the abatements. Were you guys involved in that as well?
I would love to think, because of the story we was telling, it led to them doing those things. It even led to Citizens Energy changing out water main, water pipes throughout certain communities. Even now, if you drive on Sherman Drive and 25th Street, they're changing pipes and doing things, dealing with lead and doing certain things. Even inside of certain homes, they come in and change the paint. Doing things. So it's because of that awareness. That awareness.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So with the IAQLI funds, have you guys been recipients of multiple grant rounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and what have you guys done? Has it been the same things for each of the grant rounds?
It's been the same thing starting off, but the last time we also realized that doing the testing, it was some pregnant mothers who got tested. So we realized then that we also need to further further do that. You mean it's also it's certain things that that if a person eats like vegetables, fruits, and doing certain things it helps with lead poisoning. So because of that, we also partner now with Corteva. Corteva has a food farm, and we feed I think 50 families per week. We get them a food box out of Martindale, Martindale, at the Martin Christian Center. So it's things like that.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
you know the times we live in now even a box of food, then it's a box of protein. It goes a long way.
Yeah. Do you know how many families they're able to serve with that, or they're reaching with that program?
It's just the pilot. It's just 50 families. You know,
Okay.
it's 50 families. But yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Well, so in the way that you guys have been able to bring attention to these stories and these kind of issues, bring awareness, moving forward, how do you see these kind of things continuing, with or without these continued funds?
Even before, as I said, even before we even receive funds for this, we've always told stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, storytelling is so key, because once you tell certain stories, now the community knows what's going on. Now we're able to also hold some of these entities, hold them accountable for not doing certain things that should have been done years ago and doing things. You know, so it's all about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, if folks are resistant to that A word, that accountability word, they're resistant to that, but it's hard. You know, I love that you keep saying stories too, because it's not just data. You could just say that, you know, these are some of the worst zip codes in our state for, lead poisoning, but it's important that people actually see and hear those stories. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
And the data is also, the data is also important, but you remember data what it is, but to me, when you see kids and families in need get tested for lead, doing so they have a high volume of lead, which also leads to mental conditions, which lead to kids acting out in school, which leads to kids getting expelled from school. It's a whole process that we're missing out doing things. You know what I mean? You know, so to me, telling that whole story piece of why lead got here, why it's so important to get it removed, but also what it has affected, how it has affected, and how it has continued to affect certain communities, impoverished communities. So it's all about telling that story, because you know you can read, we can hear something, do something, but imagine someone basically guiding you through storytelling. Now you have a picture of all of it.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, and we appreciate the work that you all are doing, especially in those ways. I think it's so hard to begin to do things about problems that we don't know exist.
Yes.
Yeah. So how can people get connected to the Recorder? How can folks support?
The main thing I tell people, you can go to our website, www.indianapolisrecorder.com. We have a Facebook, LinkedIn, we have our Twitter, we have TikTok. The main thing is support don't always mean monetary doing certain things. If you're out in the community, you see some story idea, or you know something that's going on in your community, reach out to us so we can better tell your story in your community. That helps not just the recorder, but it also helps the community and everybody involved. So it's several ways to get involved, and it's just bigger than the recording. If it's any organization out there that needs help, help doing certain things, get involved. You know, even my 9-year-old son, every quarter we go to food drives, serve food, do things, because I want to show him also about giving back and serving the community.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So give us the website again. And then when you say reach out, is there like a form on the site or something, or can they email, or how can people let the Recorder know, come talk about this in our community?
Go to IndianapolisRecorder.com. You can go to our website, and on our website it also has a link to submit something to the editor. You can go to any of our social media pages, put something in our chat saying certain things. It's a lot of ways to reach out. You know what I mean? Doing things.
I just want to make sure, because, people will reach out and they'll be like, listen, didn't nobody say nothing to me.
Yeah, we respond. Trust me. I make sure I stay on my team enough. We have to respond to the community, to our community needs.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be back with another interview and another grantee from the IAAQLI and the Six Pillars in Action podcast.
Coming up next on the Six Pillars in Action podcast, we'll continue our conversation with IAAQLI leaders. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and visit the IAAQLI website to learn more about the incredible work being done and how you can get involved.
Welcome back to another segment with the IAAQLI podcast, Six Pillars in Action. I'm your host, Samantha Douglas, and we are back here to hear about another incredible grantee program, Home Repair for Good. I was about to say Homes for Good. Home Repairs for Good.
We've heard it all. So Home Repairs for Good. Yes. Exactly.
And we are here with Jonathan Groves. So if you could just introduce yourself, tell us about the work that Home Repairs for Good does.
Absolutely. So, I'm Jonathan. I'm the Director of Operations for Home Repairs for Good, so I oversee the majority of our home repair operation. So we are a nonprofit that's been around since 2013, founded by a couple gentlemen who were recently retired, one of them was working on his mother-in-law's house, and discussing with his friend, there have got to be older homeowners that need repairs, but they don't have a son-in-law or family close or the resources to be able to get those repairs done. And so out of a small group of volunteers, this organization, Home Repairs for Good, was born. And we work with older homeowners and adults with disabilities who are at or below an income threshold, who own their homes, to complete critical home repairs and help them age in place safely. So the whole idea is they want to stay in their homes. It's better for them if they stay in their homes. From nearly every metric, older adults aging in place is a win for everybody.
Yep.
And so we try to make that a reality for them by doing no cost home repairs for them.
I love that. I think people, I love that you talked about aging in place too, because I think a lot of people don't realize the role that home repairs plays in keeping people in their homes. They think of tax caps or, things like that. But talk about the role that home repairs play in actually allowing people to stay in their homes.
Absolutely. So, as homeowners age, their needs change and their mobility changes. And so right off the bat, I can tell you that, a homeowner that 20 years ago didn't need a grab bar in their shower and now needs a grab bar in their shower. Didn't need a handrail on the front porch, now they need a handrail on their front porch. So those accessibility modifications, those safety modifications, that's a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
But the other part of it is that the homes are growing older as well.
Yes.
And so those homes need maintenance. The housing stock in Indianapolis, especially inside 465, is significantly older than the housing stock outside of 465. Yep. And so that's our primary service area, and we work mostly in homes that are over 100 years old. So these homes need repairs, and these homeowners, almost all of them are on fixed incomes. They don't have the resources to be able to complete these repairs, and while they may have done these repairs previously themselves, they're not in a place now where they can complete those repairs. So we can step in, bring in volunteers, bring in contractors, bring in groups, and be able to complete those repairs for them and put them in a place where they don't have to worry about their house and they don't have to worry about how to get safely around their house.
Yeah. So what is, because obviously home repairs is very broad. Yeah. So what do you guys have a cap? Do you only do jobs up to a certain amount, or is it based on who you have available to do this work? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a pretty broad spectrum of things we do. So when I talk about home repairs, I'm talking about anything from replacing a doorknob or installing a grab bar, all the way up to cleaning out an overgrown yard, or even potentially replacing a roof. So a lot of it is funding contingent, a lot of it is funding dependent. That's one of the reasons we are so grateful to be actually a 3-time recipient of the IAAQLI. Did I get that right?
IAAQLI.
IAAQLI. I always feel like I leave a letter out.
Yes.
We're so grateful to be a recipient because that in various ways has helped our organization be able to meet those needs and be able to help those homeowners. So we work with individual volunteers who are handy and love to do work. We work with large groups who come out and do lower skill or no skill projects like clearing out yards, exterior painting. We do some ramp building, and then we work with a number of trade partners for projects that are either require licensure or more technically complex, like furnace replacements, roof work, electrical work, things like that.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. And before we started shooting, you actually gave me a little background on the organization too, that it didn't used to be called the Home Repairs for Good, because I was like, that's so self-explanatory. What did you guys used to be called?
Yeah, so we began as an organization called NeighborLink Indianapolis. So we were affiliated with NeighborLink Fort Wayne, which is sort of the founding organization, and they had affiliates all over the United States. And when we started, there was a lot of alignment in their mission and our mission. And as we grew, we found that there were some things from their organization that were great for us to take away. And then we were realizing there were some things that we were really good at, or that Indianapolis needed, that were not really in character with their organization. Plus the fact that when you tell somebody you're NeighborLink, the next question they have is, okay, so what do you do? So we decided to go all the way from that to a name that tells you everything you need to know about the organization, because we are Home Repairs for Good. Our whole goal is to do home repairs for the good of the homeowners, for the good of the neighborhoods, for the good of the city.
I love that connection, because I feel like it shows people kind of like the evolution too, of like when you're first starting something, like kind of finding your place and having partnerships and figuring out what's best for you. I love highlighting those kind of things. So I want to get to the IAAQLI part. So you guys saw this grant come up, and I'm assuming you're like, improving the quality of life, of course, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how was that process for you all in going through this grant process and being a 3-time recipient? That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, it's been so neat, because the first time we received funds, it was specifically for home repair. The second time we received funds, it was through the workforce development pillar. And so that enabled us to begin some programs that I can dive a little bit more into, but both helping adults gain experience in construction and also adding additional resources and capacity for ourselves. And this third round that we just received has allowed us to expand our service area. So for the longest time, our service area was inside of 465 and north of Washington Street, because that was really all the need we could meet financially, capacity-wise. We would love to do even more. But this most recent receiving this most recent grant, has allowed us to open up to all of 465. So we are anywhere inside 465. All of our services are available. We still do some services within Marion County outside of 465, but that has allowed us to work in an area of the city where there is a lot of need and where previously we just weren't able to serve homeowners. So it's been incredible to be able to receive not just that funding, but to be a part of those other grant recipients, to be able to talk with them, to be able to dialogue with them, to be in it with a bunch of other organizations that are all about the good of the city, the good of Indianapolis.
So have you guys been able to create partnerships off of this opportunity as well?
So I know we have talked with several different organizations. I know our executive director has spent a ton of time with some of those and looking at how, so I know for us, and I know for a lot of the other organizations, we're one of the few organizations that does what we do. So being able to figure out how can we be the best at what we do, and then how can we connect with organizations that do things we don't and help our homeowners who need resources get involved with those organizations. Just growing in that sphere of organizations has been phenomenal.
Creating an ecosystem of support for people.
Absolutely.
It's just smart. What is, because I know you guys, you said that a lot of you guys' work is contingent upon like having that support, having the grant funding. What does sustainability look like for you all, like in being able to, sustain now this expanded growth? Yeah,
that's a great question. And so the workforce development pillar where we received funds is actually a big piece of that, because that allowed us to start to create some programs where we already have or are participating in another workforce development program. And so what it's allowed us to do is to begin to build internal teams with individuals who want to gain experience in construction, who show that they have some drive and motivation and gifting toward that, but really just need the instruction and the time to be able to do more work for us. What that has enabled us to do is it's enabled us to begin to do jobs for other nonprofits that have funds for home repair but don't have anybody to do them.
Yeah.
And so that's been networking with CDCs,
Yeah.
other nonprofits. It also has gotten us to the point where we are now an FSSA certified provider. And so
nice.
we're able to perform bathroom modifications on a larger scale, bathroom modifications, but on a smaller scale, installation of accessibility modifications for FSSA, specifically for Anthem Medicaid waiver recipients.
Yeah.
So that allows us to continue our mission in a different way. And it also puts us in a position where there's a sustainability piece, because any additional funding that comes through those allows us to sustain our nonprofit
Yeah.
operations further.
Yeah. So I know you said that the first one was actually for the home repairs, like the work you guys do. The second one was for workforce development. Was the third one for workforce development as well?
The third one was for the South Side expansion.
Okay,
So
okay.
still for home
Okay.
repairs, but specifically in that south of Washington Street section.
Okay, cool. So I'm excited about all of these things. So how do people get involved with, like, especially the workforce development piece? Like, if they want to get involved in construction or whatever, like, what does that process look like, or how do people get engaged in that, I guess?
Yeah. So we did a round of our workforce development program and really learned a lot about what worked well and what didn't work so well.
Yeah.
And I think it's the case with anybody who works in workforce development. They would say, it takes some time to figure that out. So currently we are structuring that program differently. There are, through our partner organizations, and specifically working with the Indiana Construction Roundtable Foundation, we have a workforce development program they have where we do the work experience piece of it. We're working on creating sort of an advanced work experience that we're going to run. And in doing that, trying to connect through partner organizations, CDCs, community centers, and be able to identify individuals who really want to get on this track but don't know how to get going, and then be able to bring them in. So that's kind of our piece right now. We had several individuals pass through that program, get a lot of certifications. We did some certifying in lead abatement, which is something that's a huge need. We did some certifications in weatherization, and so being able to properly insulate, and older homes are horribly energy inefficient. That creates not just discomfort, but high energy bills, which of course for individuals on fixed incomes is incredibly difficult to deal with. And so helping them learn how we can help solve those kind of problems for those individuals. So all those trainees who went through our program the first time left with significant credentials to be able to move on and continue to move. Our goal is to even increase the pipeline so that we can more directly be able to help them be with us for a time, learn the skills they need, and then place them in a full construction job if that's their desire. So it's, the program is still growing, but it's really exciting to see the potential there.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So when it comes to the home repair side, then, like, how do people engage in that way, like either to support or also to like actually get home repaired? So to get home repairs from us, we have a phone number on our website. The majority of our connections come through phone calls. The majority of our homeowners, don't want to go on a website, don't want to send an email, and that's perfectly fine. So I'm assuming that's our older folks.
Yes. So they'll call us, they'll leave a message. We have a team that calls them back and talks them through initial questions, confirming that they're eligible for our services. At that point, we identify, a lot of times they'll on the phone identify some issues that they feel like need to be taken care of in their home. Sometimes we find that homeowners are dead on. These are the issues in their home. Sometimes we'll make a visit out to their home and realize, hey, we know you called us about this, but there's a much bigger issue that we have seen this before, and you might not have noticed this, but we want to address that bigger issue first.
Yeah.
So once we've talked with them on the phone, we have a client services team that goes out and meets with them, explains more of the program, kind of helps them get fully vetted. We collect information from our homeowners that allows us to do things like report back to IAQLI and say, hey, this is the homeowners we're meeting with. Here's their, any demographic you would like. We collect that so that we can help people understand the kind of homeowners we're helping and the difference that's making. So then at that point, we put their projects into our project management system. And then it's a matter of, in general, we start from who's been waiting the longest, but we'll make exceptions for critical needs. If a homeowner, their gas has been turned off and it's the middle of winter, or they don't have running water in the house, we'll push those to the front of the line. We consider all of repairs critical, but a complete failure of a critical utility is something we would say we got to get that done. So that's kind of how homeowners reach out to us. A lot of them are referrals. A lot of our homeowners are either repeat homeowners or they told their neighbor about us and their neighbor called. So
I love that.
But as far as getting involved with us at Home Repairs for Good, so we do probably 30 or so large group projects throughout the year. A lot of those are businesses, but some are individuals who come out and do things like yard cleaning, debris removal. We work with homeowners that have been cited by the Marion County Health Department. We have a really close working relationship with them.
Oh, good.
And they recognize that there is a category of homeowner they cite that they have to cite because of the violation, but they know they don't have those resources, so they will directly connect them with us.
Oh, I love that.
And then we have a volunteer that manages that citation. Our team comes up with a plan for how to get it resolved, and then we keep the health department updated. And as long as that process is going, they don't advance the citation. There aren't fines, anything. It kind of puts the citation on hold as we get it resolved. So we do a lot of that kind of thing. But as far as connecting with us to serve, so individuals can connect with us just through our website. We have a lot of individuals who say, hey, I'm good with my hands. I love helping people. I'd love to come install handrails. I'd love to come install grab bars. And they can just reach out to us through our website, and we will connect them with a member of our team. Normally we sit down with them, have a conversation about what they really enjoy, kind of fill them in on the kind of work we do, and then we start kind of working with them. A lot of those individuals come to us as an individual. They get hooked up with another individual that does kind of the same kind of thing, and we form these little teams of individuals that love to do things like bathroom remodels or fixing floors or replacing toilets, and we are always open to people who are interested in working with us. We also use paid contractors. We've got a great list of companies that really resonate with our mission and try to help support us the best that they can. And we're always looking for other contractors who are interested in doing work with us, recognizing that, we want them to continue to make a profit so they can stay in business. And if they want to give us the best deal possible so we can serve those homeowners, it's a win for everybody.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. Before we get out of here, though, I want you to tell people what that website is.
Yes. It is homerepairsforgood.org.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being with us here today and sharing with us. I learned so much.
Good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching today, another episode of the IAAQLI 6 Pillars in Action podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, follow us on all the different platforms at IAAQLI, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the 6 Pillars in Action podcast. The stories and insights you hear on this podcast are just one part of a much bigger movement focused on improving the quality of life for African Americans throughout Indianapolis. To learn more about the work, the impact, and the organizations helping to drive change, be sure to visit the Indianapolis African American Quality of Life Initiative website. Follow IAAQLI on social media and sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date on the latest news and opportunities. Transformation is happening, and staying connected is one of the best ways to be part of it. We'll see you next time on 6 Pillars in Action.